Welcome to One in a Miller. Hey y'all, welcome back to the One in a Miller podcast. I'm Neosha.
I'm Justin.
And
we are okay.
Thank y'all so much for tuning in and hanging out with us today.
Absolutely.
While you're here, please hit that subscribe button. Also, ring the notification bell so you never miss an upload. We're trying to get our numbers up, okay? So help us grow this thing.
Mess with us. I ain't got it on my computer, so I'm going to close my screen now. And we're going to go to the regular schedule.
He had a little FOMO. He wanted his laptop.
I wanted my laptop, the show. Let's get it.
All right, so over the weekend, we binged The Hunting Wives, and we've been talking about it ever since we watched it. So this is kind of no rain.
Oh, hello, wardrobe malfunction. Some may say. Back to our program.
Yeah, love don't live here no more, y'all. Love don't live here no more. Anyways, as we were saying, so over the weekend, Justin and I binge watched The Hunting Wives, and ever since we've watched it, we've been talking about it. So this video is very impromptu because we just wanted to bring our discussion to the screen. So this video will be very different from what we've normally been doing, but hopefully you guys will enjoy it all the same.
This video may contain spoilers, so if you have not watched the show or you intend on watching the show, be sure to save this video, come back to it later as a reference point, because we will be giving spoilers in this show. Back to the show.
Justin, just say it normal. This is just you.
I'm ready. I'm cooking right now.
I also want to add that this TV show is very salacious. So if you're sensitive to like nudity, explicit language, things like that, I would not recommend you watch it because there is a lot of it throughout this series.
And for those born in the 1900s, that just means it's graphic.
Before we get into the nitty gritty, let me know just like your overall thoughts about the show.
Oh my God, where do I begin? No, seriousness. It's a good show. I mean, a little over the top for me as far as like the nudity and sexual activities. I mean, I really can't see. It kind of goes in line with shows these days. I mean, I guess that's what comes territory for me, a little overdrawn. But the storylines were great. And I felt like it had a good plot, good storylines for the most part, outside of maybe three that I feel like they kind of just plopped in there. You know, the preacher or the youth pastor, the actual preacher of the church, and then Jill, of course. But I think her storyline was kind of open at the end so that we could have something to go on in season 2. And also Abby or Starr, Abby's mom. Again, these are 3 spoilers if you haven't watched it. I feel like those 3 storylines are kind of empty. But outside of that, I give this show 8.5 to 9 out of 10. Would I watch it again? Probably.
The storyline overall was great. I really enjoyed the plot and the way that things flowed. Outside of the storylines that I felt like were just thrown in, I will say that overall the show was really great, and I would definitely watch it again. What else is there? That's really all I have to say. The sexual stuff, there was a lot of it, and I really feel like we could have done without maybe 50 to 60% of it, because in those scenes and things like that, nothing extra was revealed. We didn't get any extra clips. I mean, there was a couple here and there where people got caught and things like that, and we're like, oh, okay, what are they going to do with this information?
Right.
But as far, I feel like it was just, we're going to have
you didn't miss any dialogue.
Exactly. We actually, there was so much, we started fast forwarding through it. So there was just a lot going on with that. So once again, we are not, just be very cautious when watching this show.
But you know what's crazy? All right, so I just thought about this. With people that I was talking about storylines, most of those are men, and this is a show for women. I believe it is called Hunting Wives.
Yeah, it was created by women and directed by
not Hunting Husbands. I guess that's why they storylines are empty. Maybe that's why they just they could have been left out. But
yeah, true. That you do make a good point.
Yeah, I just thought of it. You know, I play football, so sometimes
it come late.
It'd be a little late. The little delayed. So they say I'm inclusive.
So I was looking on Reddit because after we watch TV shows and movies and things like that, we always like to go online and see if people have the same thoughts and opinions that we do about the show, and try to get some of those unpopular opinions, which inspired today's video. And like I said, I was on Reddit, I came across the discussion board, and it just opened up a whole new dialogue for me and Justin. So I'm going to read the Reddit post and all that, and we're going to talk about it. And this post kind of hits on more of Graham, which is Sophie's husband, and Sophie is one of the main characters of the show.
Yeah, I would say she's the main. She's what strings it. She ties the whole show together.
Right. And it's talking about her husband and what he does and doesn't do. So I'll be sure to link it down below. So if you want to check out the discussion board and see what people had to say, you can click on it and check it out.
To help us in the algorithm.
Come on, you got it.
Let's start our community. Let's start our own discussion board. Drop in the comments. The more you comment, the more we get boosted in the algorithm. So help us out by dropping a "Hey, yo, honey" or something, or just the number 1 to represent OneInAMiller. Back to the show.
So the discussion board is titled "I Can't Believe
I'm lit."
The discussion board is titled "I Can't Believe You're Making Me Defend a Man." I've been seeing way too many takes that thinks Graham was a horrible husband / father, and it's making me question if we've all watched the same show. Graham's bad decisions. Telling his wife not to drink or drive.
So, Graham is Abby's husband. That's who she alluded to earlier.
It's not Abby.
You sure about that?
Come on.
Whose
husband is Graham?
I'm pretty sure it's Sophie.
Mm-hmm.
That's who we referenced earlier. Right. I was trying to help y'all out. Right. I got lost in the sauce because we started talking about Graham, and I know y'all don't know who Graham is.
All right. So I've been seeing way too many takes that thinks Graham was a horrible husband / father, and it's making me question if we've all watched the same show. Graham's bad decisions. Telling his wife not to drink or drive. By the end, we see that he was correct because she spiraled very quickly. Not getting her the best lawyer. Not supporting / believing her while she was lying to him throughout and there was evidence against her. Sophie's bad decisions. She killed 2 people due to a DTE. No, that's not what she did. Sophie's bad decisions. Killed 2 people due to DUI. She cheated on her husband constantly. She was lying to her husband constantly. She was being a neglectful mom. This is a major one that seems glossed over as they already had CPS involved. Seriously, how many scenes did she even have with her child? Bringing a gun into the house without telling her husband and not knowing gun safety. Please tell me how you can watch the show and come away thinking Graham was the problem.
First question I would like to ask you, Neosha. How many times did she have her child in this 8-episode season?
I would say I remember maybe 3, but I'm going to say 5 just to give it a little grace.
Okay.
But I don't think it was 5.
I think it was 2. I think 2. One when he left the house and
she had him in the first scene when she first came. She had him.
Yeah, they was coming to the house for something.
Before she left, when Graham kicked her out, she had him again when Graham left.
Okay.
And maybe there was something in the middle. Like I said, I give it 5, but I don't even think it was 5.
Yeah, I think she. I actually think total time spent with the little joker might be 2 minutes.
She spent more time with Margo than she spent with her child. Ain't that
hours versus minutes?
So before we deep dive into Graham, we first have to talk about Sophie, because I feel like Graham was reactionary to everything that Sophie did. I feel like his decisions were only made because of the spots that Sophie put him in. And as we see throughout the show, Sophie's decision making is absolutely horrible.
Right.
Like there's not one decision that I can think of that was a good one.
Or that led to a better decision.
Outside of investigating Margo and getting the information she has on Margo, I think that was a good decision to kind of go in and investigate. But what she did with that information, absolutely nothing. So in all, the good decision led to something dumb.
Yeah, and I think the only thing that led her to that was her being drug into a crime. Like, if it wasn't for that, I don't think she ever would have looked.
Probably not.
She would have never looked into Margo.
So we were watching the show, and I was talking to Justin. I remember there was one part where I paused it, and I said, Sophie is making all these choices for people and destroying her life for people she's known for like 1 month. Like, these are not people that she's known.
I think it was like weeks.
Yeah, she hadn't known them long, and she is literally throwing away her life. My brain could not comprehend like why somebody would choose to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I just couldn't understand it, and it was like choice after choice after choice. It's like you're putting your family on the back burner to protect these people that you don't know, who ultimately did throw you under the bus and showed you that at a drop of a dime they're going to choose themselves before they'll ever choose you.
Yeah, but I think even with that, I don't think she had much choice though, because like one, I think she was like insecure, and then you gotta think even with all right, so the friend that she did have before, which led her to meeting Graham, came on to her. She rejected that, and then she met Graham, and so even when in her flashback, at least the way the show portrayed, she didn't have a group of friends, and so I think this was her first time being introduced to a group of friends. And then you add in the fact that she had unfortunately had a she killed a pedestrian by being intoxicated and getting behind the wheel of a car. So, you know, you take all that into account, she probably didn't have any friends anyway. So this is probably the first time in a long time she's felt wanted, I guess, in a friend group, or like needed or something.
Yeah.
And then
like
Margo is giving her the
special attention
that even though she is married, she has a great life, things like that. She's giving her the attention that she ultimately, I think, she's longed for. I think sexuality wise, she's very fluid, to be nice about it. And so I don't think that she's one side or the other. I think she's more of attention, whatever gives her attention and makes her feel alive, so to speak.
I don't know if she's fluid, because we talked about this before, and this is something that you hit on another time that really made me come back and second guess. And I'm gonna have to say I agree with you. You hit on the fact that when she was
like it's an issue.
No, it's not. I'm saying that another time we discussed this, you talked about how, you know, her friend hit on her.
Yeah.
And she kind of ran out the house, and then she met her husband.
Right.
And she really didn't explore that part of her, right? So maybe right now we're going through like a identity crisis. Like we don't know where we are sexually. We don't know if we like women or if we don't like men, because exploring that and really seeing what that was kind of cut short by doing what society deems as normal or as correct, if you will.
And then obviously she's at some sort of a disconnect with her child because she doesn't really spend time with him. I think she's motherly in a sense of going to what you just said of, I feel like this is societally right and this is my child, but she's not actually motherly as far as being nurturing and caring in that regard, because there are more things that happen in the show that would kind of allude to that point, that she doesn't really care what her kid thinks about her. It's her own intent first and kids second. And I can't really necessarily say that's right or wrong because we don't have kids yet. Right. That's kind of just like going off of it.
Yeah. So outside of that, Sophie also takes no accountability for her actions, which for me as a viewer, it becomes hard to have any sympathy for her.
Yeah, she definitely plays a victim card a lot.
Right, she does. She plays a victim card pretty much the entire time. And it's really hard for me to sympathize with her because a lot of the decisions that she made were like self-inflicted. You didn't have to go to stay later at Margo's house, which, you know, led to all this. You didn't have to flirt around with this underage boy. You didn't have to get the drinks that led to all this other stuff. So a lot of things were self-inflicted. So I don't have a lot of sympathy for it. The only thing that I have sympathy for is the fact that she was accused of murder. And even Sophie's character doesn't seem like, I mean, outside of hitting somebody with a car, but doesn't seem like she could pull a gun and like shoot somebody in cold blood.
But did she come on to the young dude? I don't think she ever really accepted it.
She didn't. She did not accept it because, you know, in the end, he said, like, no, you kept referring to me as boy. But she kind of flirted with the idea. And I feel like maybe had she been pre-pressured enough, she eventually would have caved in.
Yeah, I think that night if she hadn't been drugged out of her mind, she probably would have.
Yeah.
Like episode, I think it was like 7.
Right. And I want to mention, I do say she takes no accountability, but there was one time. And that's when Callie kind of outed her and they played Never Have I Ever. Yeah. And she was like, never have I ever killed somebody.
But that's like forced accountability though.
Correct. Yeah.
So that ain't really, I really can't even say you're accountable because even with that, and this goes to like, this is like a tactic, not saying it's right, wrong, and different, but women use it sometimes. She immediately went to the waterworks instead of just telling the story.
Right.
So I mean, like, I get being emotional about it because that's a deep thing. But we never really got the story. We just got kind of like the high points. I was drunk.
Dramatized.
I was drunk. I hit the guy. I got off. Basically.
We made it sensational.
Yeah.
To pull at your heartstrings.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, the situation was shocking because Margo kind of turned on her ex,
her lover, and her secretary.
In that regard, to say like you're wrong, because I think, and I wish like the show did good at timelines, but it really like some timelines get kind of hazy. So I think this was like after week 1 because Callie just
very early on.
Callie saying she was about to lose a girl or her man, and Margo, and she dove deep, and I'm gonna find something on you.
Right.
So
yeah, y'all, the love triangles in this show. Whew, what a web
we got. We got a world strongest sheriff in a
having fun
in a predicament
in a 3-ring circus.
Right, and then we got Margo and Callie. They into it.
Margo is here, there, and everywhere.
Margo gave it to like 80% of the cast.
Literally.
And then you got it's something else I'm missing, and then some I can't think of it right now, but I mean I'll probably think of it later. But yeah, it's pretty wild.
All right, so before we get into Graham, let me read some of the comments that they have on this discussion board. So one of the comments says,
"Oh yeah, and the brother, y'all gonna see one of the episodes of Margo's brother.
There was an elephant in the ring, to put it nicely."
That's what it was. I'm talking about zooted and
booted,
literally.
All right, so one of the comments is, in the first few episodes, I totally believed Graham would turn out to be one of the bigger buttholes on the show. By the end, I was rooting for him to get away from Sophie and the whole group. LOL. He had absolutely no reason to believe Sophie was innocent, and anyone who thinks otherwise is crazy. Another comment is, I didn't get this at all. I hated the character Sophie and thought her husband was one of the only semi-likable characters, except for being a major pushover. He was somewhat of a pushover.
He got pushed off all the time.
All right, and then one last comment before we get into it. Graham honestly should have left her if he felt he needed to police everything she did. That said, Sophie took no accountability and continued to act horribly.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with the pushover because Graham's such a pushover. His wife done jumped out her skin at the boss house, and he didn't say, what's going on? He's looking at that drink.
Yeah, he literally said, take my wife. Like, he told him, like, take him, and boss is pushing up on her.
It was something else I can't think of, but yeah, being a pushover was one, but you know, the way the show introduced Graham was
controlling. He came across controlling.
They introduced his character as controlling, but then as the layers kept getting pulled back or peeled back, rather, he actually, I understood where he's coming from, but I get what they say, like, oh, he should leave, but at the same time, in his world, from a person that works in corporate
optics,
it's all about the optics, and so you don't want to be like, one, young and single, two, young, single with child, and your wife that you divorced because people gonna dig is not really I guess stereotypical. Is that the word? In their world? And I'm using that not like a bad way, but like
wholesome.
Like the prototype. Yeah, wholesome in their world. And so when you look at the other women, how they act when they're with their husbands, they're acting like the trophy. They act perfect. They kind of talk perfect. They give the perfect answer. They also give the I don't think vibe. So it's like, you the king. I just say yeah. And
whatever
so
you say,
when they about themselves, they act different. Then you get the authentic them. But when they're with their husbands, that's not the authentic them. And so like taking that and placing it on Graham, well, Sophie does have to be there. Sophie does have to, even if she owns an act this way, because that's what I need right now. Because even from
accelerate my career,
even from like episode 1. As a couple, a lot happened in that season that they didn't agree with. They showed up, it was NRA. He said, kind of calm that down. But
then he got onto her about having a gun.
Right, calm that down. Then it went to the young lady got murdered, and they at the town hall. And I can't remember where I was going with this, but it was something that happened there too.
The young guy came up to him.
Yeah, and he kind of like, what's that? But she kind of blew it. But it was one other point that I can't remember. It kind of blew something off. And anyway, long story short, that's just what it is in that world. So I kind of understood it, but optically it looks great. From the inside looking out, from his world looking out, it looks great. From the outside looking in, which we watching the TV show, it looks horrible because you're like, dude, you just let anything flow in your house. Like, you know, your wife texting you, she gonna be back in, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes. I don't know how they go, but she don't show up to the next morning. Or like, oh, I'm not gonna go out nowhere, but then you show up, you at the boogie down with the girls drinking, and all this stuff that just don't make sense. So yeah, I definitely agree. Even with the gun, I don't think he had a problem with that because she bought a shooting shirt in the episode. He said, "Oh, that's funny. You got a shirt to shoot."
Oh, I forget about
Never
that.
said anything about it.
Yeah.
Then the gun came in the house and got caught with it slipping and tipping. Now you said something about it. So it's always like just been no optics.
Okay.
He's very optical.
Right. Before we get into Graham, I have to say, did anybody else besides me think that was Toby? And if you know exactly what I'm talking about, drop it down in the comments, because if you know, you know. I thought that man was Toby. But moving on from that, there were a lot of things, not a lot of things, but there were a couple of things about Graham that, kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I know I was talking to you and I was just like, why is he drinking in front of her? If he knows that she struggles with alcoholism and things like that, and to be a supportive husband, like why would you bring this even in her orbit? It's kind of like if somebody is a drug addict or something like that, and you're not going to bring drugs in front of them. It's really being like too tempting.
Right.
And there was a few times where he drank so much he was sloppy with it too. So not only are you drinking in front of her, but you're doing it sloppily, which is something that I really didn't like. And then you hit on the gun thing. I didn't like that he was somebody who was, an anti-gun, but then in front of your boss, you're saying like, oh yeah, we support the cause, rah, rah, rah. We're this and that. So now it's okay for Sophie to lie in this instance, but it's not okay for her to lie in another instance. You get what I'm saying? So you can't, like, now he's being a little hypocritical in a sense. But I do feel like, I can't even say that. I'm not going to say that. But we talked about this too another time, is like the best apology is changed behavior. And I feel like Sophie would always apologize to Graham and say like, I'm so sorry, and he would forgive her. And I feel like because she was continuing on the same thing and doing the same thing over and over, she continuously lied. She continuously left the house. She continuously wasn't present for her son and, helping parent him, that eventually he was just like, you know what, enough's enough.
Right.
Then also she told him about her cheating, and then it was with
it's a half truth.
Right. Cheating with his boss's wife. So not only are you cheating on me, you're cheating with somebody who literally holds my livelihood in their hands. I think he just finally had enough, and I don't blame him for leaving. I will say, and we talked about this too, I wish he would have taken the son with him when he left. That was kind of like my hold up. Like, he clearly does not trust her and doesn't trust her judgment. So I told you when we were watching this, I was like, I'm happy for him. Get the baby, get the cars, get the clothes, whatever, and y'all go back to Boston and let Sophie clean up her mess, because it doesn't matter how much support he gives her. Sophie, at this point in her life, I just feel like is going to continue to make very bad choices that eventually will leak onto you. Right now, he has no skin in the game. Like seemingly, all the murders, the cheating, all that stuff has not bled onto him. He's an innocent party in this. But I feel like if he keeps on trying to control Sophie and trying to make her fit into this mold that she's not, eventually it is going to link onto him. And I feel like he would get in more trouble than she would.
Yeah, I feel like, even with the leaving thing, I think that he was just trying to go clear his head. And, it's no better way to see where your partner is than if they can hold their child for 72 hours, like 3 days. And if you can't do that, then we know we stand and it's time to cut the cord. But if I was Graham, I would feel worse than that, though, honestly. And this is the point that ain't nobody talking about Graham. I would feel bad that we went 8 episodes and nobody tried me. I was so unattractive.
They not into
They didn't
men.
want to swing
They're
me.
not into men.
They into something.
They're not into
the
men.
Women didn't
Unless
try me.
16,
Margo showed me the house and didn't even make a move.
She doesn't.
I'm mad.
She want a woman. She don't want
that
a man.
That is insane.
She want a woman or
and
a little boy. You're right.
A little boy.
She don't want a man.
I would feel bad, man.
He got too much sense. She wants somebody that has no sense.
He done went the whole season. Then he could try it one time.
As of yet, somebody might try.
They even trying to share. The sheriff even got a man. I mean,
this stuff is insane.
Even the pasta, the dry chicken. The chicken is dry.
Well, mentioning the pastor, it's a great segue into like the different storylines that we felt like didn't really make sense and have no credence. And we'll first start off with the pastor, since you mentioned him. Now, this pastor, and I don't know his name, pastor. He is the pastor of this mega church, and he is Jill's husband. And he seems like the most coldest, meanest, just nonsensical pastor I've ever seen in my life. It's okay to be stern and it's okay to be just very by the book, but we don't see him give affection to anybody. Even after Abby dies and he's talking to Starr, it's very like, I hope you're okay. I hope you're doing good. There's no consoling. Brad, which is his son, and Jill is his wife, she dies, and Brad's in there crying by himself. Like his father is nowhere to be found. And then also too, like we saw in a flashback that he wasn't even present during Brad's birth. So there's a disconnect in that relationship somewhere, but I don't feel like since they killed Jill, it really made sense to have all that in there.
Speaking
as of now.
Yeah, and speaking of, Jill a little weirded out too in her own thing. So
she is. Jill, okay, so Jill is played by Jill is played by the same character that plays Quinn in Scandal, and if you've seen that show, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I know you haven't seen Scandal, but Jill, the actress, I don't know her name, I just know her as Quinn, but she plays crazy very well. Like this character this character Jill is very similar to Quinn after she goes crazy, and they're just like, like trying to like get things together. And I think she did a phenomenal job. I really hate they killed her off, but I think she did a phenomenal job playing that role.
Yep.
Another pastor that kind of was just thrown in there is Pastor Pete. And I have to crack up because I was laughing at Justin, because Justin's like, I don't trust any girl band that wears a Scully all the time.
And you know what Scully's on and how long?
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. You gotta choose a struggle. One or two.
But we found out, or after
wearing a Scully and no medical diagnosis. Now in real life he did have one.
Yeah,
on the show,
he's dead, and it's unfortunate that this was his last role. So R.I.P. to him.
On the show, he had no medical condition.
Not one. But I will say Pastor Pete, like we said before, his storyline was kind of thrown in there. Once again, as of now, we don't understand. I mean, I get that we're trying to tie Casey in and get all this, that, and the other, and he only gives like one piece of information that is actually pertinent to the story as a whole. But just hitting on Pastor Pete for just a second, he doesn't give me Chester molester vibes, right? He doesn't seem like, and I told Justin this, I was like, he just seems very sinister. And you know how when like people who have like schizophrenia or like a mental condition, they're very fixated on the Bible and like Jesus, and anybody that kind of goes against that is like public enemy number one.
Hyper religious. I forgot what they call it.
Yeah, I feel like that's where Pastor Pete was. Like he was one that I didn't think he wanted to do something to the girls. Like in that way, I felt like he more so wanted to like get the devil out of him, if that makes sense.
He wanted the devil out of him, all right.
Because we hear that he talked about how he goes after kids who have premarital sex, and that's kind of like his
he also drugged the girl that he was trying to get with. So,
but was he trying to get with her, or was he trying to punish her for?
This is the same dude that was pleasing himself to a picture of the other girl before she left, before she died. So he more than, come on now.
I just think he's crazy. I don't think
you drugging kids. That has nothing to do with the devil. That ain't got nothing to do with God. Neither one of them will take the case.
Like when you're crazy,
neither one of them will take the case.
But when you're crazy and you have all sense. It's like I have to do whatever I need to do to get you in my dungeon,
right?
So I can exercise you. I don't know. Maybe I'm weird.
Exercising, yeah. Right.
Okay.
Because nothing about him screamed that. He blew. And all that we got with Pastor Pete was blowing the officer's head off, and she magically came back on a cane, and every day she got better and better, stronger without therapy.
At one point she was walking without it.
Right. At one point she was slobbing talk. And then the speech got clear. So he shot her. He was trying to skip town, couldn't.
Got caught.
And from an officer who was off duty and not supposed to be doing anything, was able to call for backup and catch him.
She didn't call for backup. She called
That's what I'm saying.
The sheriff.
Yeah. Illegal as he would have got off anyway. So he had already skipped from Louisiana with a case, and then
the mega pastor knew that.
So everything, all his storyline points were just high points. He really didn't have a lot of depth to it. But I mean, an 8-episode limited series like this, you can't give a lot of depth to everybody because then it'll take 16 episodes.
Right. So yeah, you know, but I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know Black Phone because the Black Phone. And y'all watch horror movies, y'all know about the Black Phone movie. And
is that movie we watched where the little boy got kidnapped?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. He didn't ever do anything to them, did he?
He killed all them kids.
I know he killed them, but did he?
No, I don't think so. But that's why I said what we keep saying. Either he deleting them or something like that. So that's what it is.
Okay, well, let's move on to Starr. So Starr, her role was very short in this movie.
Starr
in this TV show.
Starr's only role really was just to be overweight, poor, and socially disconnected.
I wish Starr had some more get up and go about her. Like after Abby died, I wish my thought was that Starr would investigate like Sophie did and uncover everybody's secrets. And now she's like holding it over their hands, and like now she's the queen bee. You know what I'm saying? Since they were so mean to her and stuff, now she like forces their hand to like be nicer.
I feel like she was getting close to it, but I also think the irony in her and Jill dying in the same within hours of each other also is to kill both of those possibilities. Because Starr was going to force Jill to say either who killed her child or to kill her for killing her child, and then Jill was not getting with the program anymore to protect the person who actually killed Abby. So both of them had to go circumstantially.
Do you think Jill knows that it was Margo that killed Abby?
Oh yeah, for sure.
You really
because I think Jill also know that Margo was sleeping with her son. Like that's all be for real.
Okay, yeah.
But Jill also has a weird relationship with her son, so she might be sleeping with her own son.
And that whole scene, all that, just
that scene and her watching her son get out the shower. For y'all to watch it, her son got out the shower. She flick him a towel, but she looking at the man's manhood at the same time. So it was pretty. Like I said, it's pretty. Her stuff was always subtle, but at the same time with Jill, the biggest question was, or was, why her and the pastor aren't connected, why she and her son are so connected, and then what, like towards the end of the show, why did she delete all that stuff? And so that's really all it is with her.
Yeah, I do want to know Jill, because we're wrapping Jill and Starr together, which is ironic because they didn't like each other
at all.
But like they're intertwined in this way. I really want to know like the argument that led up, or the situation that surrounded Jill killing Starr. Like what exactly happened? I would like to know, like see a flashback of that conversation, and then go into Jill dying too. I mentioned this before, but Callie shot Jill, right? And with Callie having all these accolades of being a sharpshooter and things like that, I just want to know why she decided to do a kill shot instead of one that just kind of disarmed her.
But that's what I just said. Like she had to do a kill shot because Jill went with the program. Jill didn't sign the NDA. Jill did not sign the NDA. Jill was also not going to delete her photos with Margo. Jill also stopped going out with them. That's your third strike. And then Jill, when they tried to talk, still wasn't with the program because she was not with it. She was like, I'm going to do this. Then she drew a gun on Margo,
she did.
Her man.
Her lover and her secretary. Her significant.
If y'all see how Margo get down, y'all going to know what I'm talking about because Margo always leading the way. So she drew a gun on her, and so at that point, when she drew a gun on her supposed best friend, the friend circle, whatever, she had they had no choice because Margo didn't have a gun. So it was no choice in that because you had the perfect setup for self-defense, but it was also no choice in because Callie's husband is the sheriff. So you can always draw that scene or make up that scene the way you want to. That closed the case for
Abby.
Sophie not being convicted as a killer
for
Abby. And so that closed the case, and you get 3 birds and 1 stone, so to speak. So they closed the case, and like I said, she wouldn't get the program, so she had to go. Like that's not. I get, we would have wanted to see her longer, but the longer she stayed alive and on the show, the worse it get for everybody because she had presumably became a big joker in the play. Because she wasn't gonna take Brad down. Brad wasn't gonna go nowhere while she was alive.
She was,
and she was his protector as well. So it's just a lot. So with that too.
I think we hit on all the small characters before we get to Grand Pumbaa, Miss Margo. I do want to say one more thing about Pastor Pete. He did give a vital piece of information to Sophie, which led to Sophie finding out a little bit more dirt about Margo, which was that he assumed that it was Abby that had the abobo, right? And Sophie was able to track it to Brad and say, like, did Abby have an abobo? And he was like, no. He said, it was just my girlfriend. My girlfriend had the abobo. And we know now that him and Margo were together, and it was ultimately Margo that had the abobo, right? And so that is what Sophie, and when Sophie finds out that information, she gets the motive, she gets the how. Well, she doesn't get the how, but she gets the motive, and Margo confesses to Sophie because she kind of brings it all to her about what happened.
So he did that before he self-deleted. So if you deal with any mental thing, we take that serious. You know, that is in the show as well because he self-deleted himself.
The Pastor Pete did, yeah. So if you are struggling, please get help. We want you on this side, not the other side, right? All right, so
standing and not laying.
So just go into Margo. Margo is the queen bee of the show. I know y'all have heard us mention her name a lot, but that's because her and Sophie are like the two main characters
that tie everything together.
And Margo is the wife of Jed, who is running for governor.
Yeah, he's like the
and she has
big wig in town, I guess.
I know he's the one that has all the money.
Yeah,
I can't remember what it is he does, but he has a lot of money. And she has very humble beginnings. She grew up in a trailer park. She had a mom that was addicted to drugs. Her brother was addicted to drugs. Her dad seemingly had really nothing to do with them, even though he is a doctor. And I would sum up Margo in one word, and I would say survivor. Like, she is that person that's gonna find a way by any means necessary. And I mean, she's at this point now where she's like, I've been in poverty and I'm gonna do anything, including cutting people off to never ever go back to that. So
and Margo can take a licking and keep on ticking.
Jed sent her from the earth.
He almost knocked that red wig off her head.
Man, he smacked. I jumped. I was like, good God. And that didn't seem like Jed's character at all. Yeah. But then that is another layer of Jed that we're starting to see where he could be like because he didn't miss a stride. It was just like automatic. It
didn't really shock me though.
Yeah. Because the way he went through women,
he said, it didn't shock me. And all thing he said was, now tell me, give it to me straight.
Right. And she gave it to him straight, and he gave it to her straight.
He said that alley hoop up to finish
She thought she was going.
This is not a safe space.
At all. Y'all be careful. Because, woo, Jesus.
Yeah.
But Margo is a manipulator. I mean, she knows how to pull the puppet strings and make everybody bend to her will. She was an escort before she got with Jed, so she knows how to work a room and to keep people in line. And we see the control and that manipulation that she has more so over Sophie and Callie, which are the two people who are intimate with her. Like she knows how to give them a piece and then reel them back in, and then like push them away when it's beneficial, and bring them in when it's beneficial as well. Because after Sophie was accused and arrested for Abby's murder, she blocked her. She blocked her and had nothing to do with her. She said, my husband's running for governor. I can't have this stain on me, blah, 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 blah. But then some pieces came crumbling down, and Margo gave Sophie a piece of that Margo pie. And wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Sophie was right back in her web of lies. And so Margo is just, I think Margo is smart. I don't think people give enough credit to how well Margo knows how to plot and scheme, because just like Sophie kind of turned her back on her, well, she's like, well, I got another hot mama that can come in and protect me.
And she has more power,
right, just as well. The one thing I will say about Margo that I really didn't like with her character, of course, was sleeping with Brad, who is underage. I didn't really like that. And in the very first scene we see of Margo, we see her in all her glory. Like, we see Margo, and then ta-da!
In her birthday suit. How she came into this world.
And that's it. But that's all I really have to say on Margo.
Yeah, I think her character development really, if you watch the show with a open mind, I guess you say, or like a viewer's perspective, you'll see her character development kind of strike you first as odd, and maybe the key term in 2025 that everybody likes to use, narcissistic. And she is a little narcissist, and she is a little manipulative, but it's because, going back to what you said, she's had to survive for so long. So her and her brother had to hustle coming up, so she's always known how to hustle people. They showed the scene where they were younger and they robbed a man for his truck and his money. So I mean, they've known how to play the game. Her brother is a cleaner person. We see at the end of the show where, ironically, Sophie kills her brother by running him over, drags him into the thing. She gets his phone out, answers it by accident, and breathing. And then Margo is I think she probably catches a clue that her brother is gone, which leads us into season 2. But I said the irony in all it is how her brother actually tried to help Sophie until I can't remember what happened before that when he was trying to get her, trying to catch her.
Yeah, he was helping Sophie until Margo came and told him a twisted side of the story. Yeah. So it's like I have to protect my sister.
And so then that's what happened. And so he ended up going out there and getting killed. I mean, getting deleted. And so then, we get all that. But I think we're seeing an evolution of Sophie in a way emulating Margo, and Margo still being herself, but she knows how to work that game because she's street smart.
Right.
She's not book smart. Yes. She's street smart.
Yeah.
And so I think that she probably will end up getting jailed back in season 2 if I had to take a guess. Mm-hmm. And I think with that, they will. I don't know how that goes after that, but I think ultimately she's gonna find a way to get back in there.
Yeah. I think the smartest thing that Margo could ever do is to have Callie in her web.
Yeah, as her right hand.
I think as long as she kind of keeps Callie up under her wing and entangled in her web, that she will always be okay. Because Callie also has proven to be a little unhinged herself, and someone that would go to bat for Margo by any means necessary. Margo does no wrong in her eyes because she even knew that she was with Brad, and the only thing she did was send her a picture and of her and Brad together. Like she didn't. Yeah. Her and her husband's a sheriff. Like she could have easily shown the pictures and had Margo arrested. For that.
But I think their dynamic and relationship is flipping because with her being on a reality show and Margo losing everything she's had, that dynamic flips. So now Callie's more empowered than Margo because Margo needs Callie to get in if she even gonna be invited back into the friend circle. And then that's I ain't had no end then, but that was
the friend circle really though is starting to disintegrate. Jill done died. Callie's about to be on reality TV. Margo is back in the trailer park.
And we have no clue what the black
and we have
does.
We don't know her name or her husband.
Sophie at the funeral. We don't know what she does.
So like the friend circle essentially may not be anymore when we come back to season 2.
And with Jill being with that's true.
Yeah, so
I'm sure some people are gonna feel away.
Right, and I feel like Callie now that she's on the reality TV, I could very well see her creating a new group of friends to make her life look a little bit better. Or cleaning her life
like Margo was doing.
Right. I could definitely see Callie doing that.
Yeah.
Anything else you have on Margo? All right, so let me ask you this: what are your predictions for season 2? Do you have any season 2?
I really don't have any, besides I think Margo and Jill will be back together because you just have
to. She can't be with Jill.
Jed, my bad.
Okay.
Because you have to do that to keep the show going. And then I think that on top of that, I think that the new queen bee is Callie, or will be Callie, and Sophie. I'm curious to see if her and Margo team up in season 2 because she killed Margo's her cleaner and brother, so her right hand man, or if they do something to Sophie, or if Sophie becomes her own queen bee. It's very because her life is in shambles too. So her life as well as Margo, it's crazy because they both went up at the same time. Well, not same time exactly, but Sophie kind of rose up and they were kind of a little level, like not that far from each other. But then, like, they both crumbled at the same time. So Margo has lost a castle, and then Sophie's lost, or we think she's lost her husband, son, her family, and stuff like that. So I would be curious on, because I know she ain't gonna stay in a motel film.
Let me ask you this too before I give my predictions. Do you think that Sophie wanted to be Margo, or do you think Sophie wanted to be with Margo?
I think she wish she was that. I bet that's part of the infatuation. Because Margo does whatever she wants, whenever she wants, with no consequence. Even though she doesn't know or she doesn't understand Margo's life, because she don't understand Margo coming home and what is it, Jed? Jed been in the pool with 2 women and she's saying y'all have a good time, going to sleep.
Yeah, and not feeling no way.
She don't understand it.
Yeah,
she just seeing what they show her. She don't see the behind the scenes because she don't know all that. So,
and I do, and I can, and just to give Sophie a little bit of flack, we've talked about this before. That life does look appealing. They're going out to the clubs, they're having a good time, they're partying, drinking, they're doing whatever swinging. They wanted to do. I don't.
Well, that's not. You gotta say that's what she. Well, yeah, I gotta say that's what she told in the bathroom when she spilled the. Actually, when she spilled the drink on it, she said, "Oh, he like you. We like you.
She did.
We like you. We trying to say what's up." And then when she bought in the we, that's when Sophie was like, "No, I don't do the we.
Right.
I can do the you."
And like I was saying, like she, for someone who is straight laced and who is kept on such a short leash by her husband,
right.
I could see the appeal. Like, man, your husband lets you do whatever you want to do, and there ain't no party like a Margo party. You know what I'm saying? And they gets down, so I can understand Sophie wanting to be a part of that, but you don't lose all inhibitions just to fit into and get into this party scene.
Sophie can't even drive without getting an airplane ball.
It's a myth.
I'm talking about
well, really, he did. Graham didn't want her driving at all,
and chucking them on the dash.
And you know what? I understand Graham now that I'm thinking about it, because every time you get behind the wheel, it's like I gotta crank up the car and drink a drink. Like it's
and chucking them jokers on the dash.
Insane.
So, yeah, that's all I got.
So my predictions for season 2 is, because Callie is going on reality TV, I feel like somebody's gonna find out something about her, because when you live a life like that, when you're kind of down and dirty, the worst thing you could do is have cameras around you all the time
or blow up.
And I don't feel like right now she's in a space to where she can kind of contain that. Like she can, to where she can resist Margo or resist the life or resist this. I feel like she's still going to be drawn to it and give in to her once again give in to her inhibitions and what is routine to her.
But you got to think about the saying when Margo was calling out everybody blackmail, she still didn't. That's what made her sign the NDA, and that's why it was on Jill. They was like, "Girl, just sign the NDA."
Right. As far as Margo goes, I think that she and Sophie are going to team up or find their way back to each other, because they both have transgressions. I think Margo's going to find out that she killed her brother, and it's going to be like a, hey, I scratch your back, you scratch mine kind of thing. Like, I'll help you cover this up and keep this a secret as long as you don't tell anybody about what I did to Abby, and we leave that alone. So I feel like some way that's going to be entwined. And one more prediction I have is, I feel like Casey is going to be an interesting topic in season 2. And the reason why I say that is because what I mentioned earlier is that Pastor Pete punished the girls who had premarital sex, right? So I feel like whoever Casey was involved with may or may not be like a big wig or something like that. Maybe it was Jed. We don't know. But I feel like whoever she was kind of enthralled with will be I can't find the word that I'm looking for, but will be like something that's going to blow up the spot and be like real like, oh, I can't believe like she's with him. So those are like my 3 predictions. Oh, we didn't mention one thing too. The black guy, the black man that took the place of the one-eyed man.
The guy with the patch.
You know, he pulled up to their house.
That's what I'm saying.
Sophie's car wasn't there. So I wonder if he was able to track her and
because she had 24 hours or something like that.
Right, and saw that she killed Margo's brother. So I wonder if he's going to kind of get in between that in any way.
And Margo was the one who had the bobo, as she said. So it's cool to see how that goes.
I will be sure to link the discussion board down in the description box below, because it is pretty interesting if you're into discussion boards and reading people's comments and things like that. Let us know in the comments who your favorite character was, who you could do without, and what are your predictions for season 2. I would love to, have some chatter in the comments and, go back and forth and get to know y'all a little bit better. And with that being said, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And y'all, thank you so much for tuning in with us, and we'll see you guys in the next one.